Alright, welcome back to the second lesson of today. Hopefully you've got through the 10 packet okay and the answer key made sense. Let's begin again with our skill check. We're going to use the distributive property to simplify these expressions. So the first thing you want to do is multiply the 8 times x and the positive 8 times the negative 4. And the sign matters, so when I multiply the 8 times the negative 4, I get negative 32. Now x has a coefficient of positive 1, so when I multiply the coefficient times 8, 8 times 1 is positive 8. Coefficient of 1 on a, positive 2 over here, multiplied by negative 3. Should have had negative 3a minus 6. Multiply 4 times 7 plus b. Okay, 28 plus 4b. And lastly, negative 40 plus 5k. So our goal in this lesson is to build on what we did last lesson and solve equations by using the distributive property. And that's why we had to practice at the beginning, just to make sure that you were ready. And so hopefully that made sense. If you need to pause or replay the video at any time, make sure to do that. Now, you may have seen at West Fargo High School we have cheerleaders of our own, and so this story problem is based on that idea. Your school's basketball team is playing in the championship game. For the game, the cheerleaders want to buy a banner that costs $47. They also want to buy small items to give to students in the stands. Pom-poms cost $5.20 each, noisemakers cost 80 cents each, and the cheerleaders have a total budget of $377 for the game. The question is, how many noisemakers and pom-poms can you buy? That's what I want to know. Well, this requires you to set up an algebraic equation. Otherwise, maybe you could do it in your head, but I think it'd be pretty tough considering the decimals involved. But some people are pretty intelligent. The way that I would start this is making sure to identify the important information in the problem. We know that there are $377 total to spend on this stuff, and that we know the price of a banner, we know a price of some pom-poms. So a banner, I'm only going to buy one banner, it's 47. And noisemakers and pom-poms depend on how many you buy. So we don't know how many they're going to buy, right? That's what we need to find. So first let's start by setting up the. So the equation should look something like this. The cost of pom-poms plus the cost of noisemakers, and of course we don't know how many, so we're going to call them n for the number of those items, plus the cost of banner is the total budget. Let's put in what we know. The total budget, okay, is $377. The banner is $47. And to figure out the cost of the pom-poms and noisemakers, assuming we get the same number of both, it would be $5.20 times n plus 80 cents times n. Combine the like terms, and you get 6 n's plus 47 is 377. Subtract 47 from both sides, you get 330. Then you need to divide by 6. And there should be 55 of each item. So the answer to our question is that the cheerleaders can afford to buy 55 pom-poms and 55 noisemakers. Of course, if you need more time, again, please don't hesitate to pause. Just let Ms. Hyder know that you need a little bit more time to write some things down. Example 2, you have to solve the equations using the distributive property. So if you look at letter A, you obviously have negative 21 equals 7 times 3 minus x. You have to use the distributive property on the right side of the equation at the expression 7 times 3 minus x. 7 times 3 is 21. 7 times negative 1 is negative 7. Don't forget that that's still negative. Now, of course, you subtract 21 from both sides. Don't make the mistake too. Negative 21 minus another 21 actually gets you negative 42. It does not get you 0, because I'm actually adding another negative 21 to the already negative 21. Divide by negative 7. You'll get your final answer of 6. That is the value of x that makes this true, and that's called the solution. On the next one, you will multiply, of course, the left-hand side of the expression, or the equation, I should say. This is the expression, the left expression of the entire equation. Multiply by -3, you get -24, and -3 times -4, +12. Now I want to add 24 to both sides. Okay, that's going to get rid of this -24. And I'm left with 12x equals 36. Now it's time to divide by 12, and you're going to get x is 3. I could check my work if I wanted to by putting 3 into the original equation for x. -4 times 3 is -12. 8 minus 12 is -4. -3 times -4, +12. And finally, there's another example here. If I have to distribute the -2 to both the x and the -1, we're going to get some like terms after I'm done distributing. Notice the title of this example, combining like terms after I distribute. You see now that I have a 5x and a -2x, which have the identical variable parts. It's x to the same power. So that means we can combine them to get 3x's. Plus 2 is 8. Finally, subtract 2 from both sides. I guess we have 2 more steps, so not finally. But you get 3x equals 6. And then divide by 3, x is 2. Okay, it's your turn now, so please pause the video and allow about 5 to 6 minutes to work on these problems. Might take a little bit longer. So, in the first example, I combine the like terms, 3n and 2n. I add 40, divide by 5, n equals 11. Multiply both parts of the quantity by 2. 2s equals negative 2s minus 2 equals 6. I add 2 to both sides. S has to be 4. You could check by putting s into the equation. Put 4 minus 1 is 3. 2 times 3 is 6. That works. And the last example here, after I distribute the -3, I get -3y and -12, which yields a like term that I can combine with the 2. 2y minus 3, I can subtract the coefficients. 2 minus 3, that's -1. Add 12 to both sides, that's 25. And most people make this mistake. They say 25 is -y, and that's it. But I want to get that y to be positive, so I divide both sides by -1. I get y is the opposite of 25, or -25. And now I've reached the end of the lesson again, so make sure to pause the video, give some time to work on these 3 examples. Okay, so now let's go over example 1. You have to set up a model for this. You know, it's just like the first example we did. We have a total budget. We have certain items that cost money, a $5 item and a $2 item, and $45 for the staff member. So $241 is equal to $5 for every student for the gift certificate, $2 for every student for the bookmark, plus the $45 for the one chaperone. Combine the like terms. 5 S's plus 2 S's means $7 was spent per student, plus the $45 for the chaperone. If I subtract that $45 away, I get 196 is 7 times students. Then I divide by 7. S equals 28. Example 2. Distribute. Add 12. Divided by 2. Distribute. Notice that I multiplied a negative times a negative and got a positive 6k. Add 34. Again, when I add 34 to negative 22, I get a positive 12 because the absolute value of 34 is greater than the absolute value of 22, negative 22. Divided by 6, k is 2. And example 3 is probably the hardest one. Distribute that negative 3 to the 8 and the negative 3 to the 60. Combine like terms, get negative 20k's. Subtract 180. Divide by negative 20. You can check by putting k as 10, that's 80 minus 60, that's 20. Negative 3 times 20 is negative 60. 4 times 10 is 40. 40 minus 60, negative 20. It works. All right, take some time now and work on the 3.2 work in the back. Make sure again to rewind or pause the video as you need to, and check the answers to your practice after you're done by looking at the answer key. Thanks.